no, I know I wasn't breathing because I would go and wake up.
You guys are not going to want to miss this, of course, because Zaina is not only a very intelligent Stanford grad and mindset growth developer. Is that right?
That's right.
Which we're all about here. We got the mama mentality in the background, but she's also 1.5 years outside of double jaw surgery. I would say custom orthognathic surgery. So we're going to talk about mindset. We're going to talk about your journey as a jaw surgery patient and what your experience has been like, why you did it, what your recovery has been like, and what people can learn about this. So welcome to the studio. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited.
Yes, so am I. I want to know, it's been 1.5 years.
Okay.
And I know that sleep was a big part of this, but tell me why you came here. I can't remember.
Okay, I'll tell you why. So I suffered all of my life from sleep paralysis. I now know the term for it, but that's because I finally got a diagnosis. But essentially what it is I would, at any given time in the night, or if I'm taking a nap, I would go into essentially a nightmare. And then I would wake up, but I was frozen. And I could hear around me, I could feel my bed, whatever, but I couldn't wake up. And it was incredibly scary. And it's been happening since I was a little girl.
That sounds terrifying. How often was this?
I would say somewhere every, it wasn't monthly. So maybe every 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But what this is what's crazy is that I would let my guard down because I was almost starting to get be afraid to sleep, and then it would happen, and it's terrifying. And so what I had to do, I don't even know how long I was in this nightmare paralysis state, but I learned as I got older to talk myself into being calm. Like, Zaina, you're gonna wake up.
So you're awake. You're aware.
I'm awake. My brain's
totally
working.
Conscious,
but I couldn't move.
You can't move anything.
Frozen.
Are you breathing?
I don't think so. I don't think I was breathing. And I would just say to myself, you're going to wake up. And then I would say, okay, Zaina, kick your leg, move your arm, do something.
Yeah.
Get yourself awake. And eventually, oh no, I know I wasn't breathing because I would go and wake up.
Wow.
And
this started when you were young?
I remember because I would go to my parents' bed because I'd wake up and I would have a nightmare, what I would have thought was a nightmare, but now I know it was a sleep apnea episode.
Right.
And why I ultimately came to see you and my journey here is one time I was on the airplane and I was with my kids. My son was small enough to be in a car seat, so he was an infant of some sorts. And my daughter is 3 years older, and they're next to me. And it had never happened to me leaning forward.
Oh,
I was sleeping, like this, on the, what are those things called? Tray table. Yeah. And it happened. And I could hear them next to me. I knew I was on the airplane, and I couldn't wake up. And I thought to myself, what if I don't ever wake up or something of that nature, right? And my kids are next to me, and this has happened. And I resolved in that moment when I finally did wake up, I started crying. And my daughter's like, what happened? Because I felt impotent. What could I do?
Yeah.
What could I have done? And, you're a dad, right? And once you have children, your life is no longer your own.
Absolutely.
You live your life, your responsibility is for your children. And I had a reckoning moment talking to myself, and I said, this isn't about you, Zaina. This is about the children. And my responsibility is to stay healthy and stay here and not get dead because I can't breathe and I'm having these episodes.
Wow. When was that?
So my son, I've got Ford. He is now 7, and Lucy, she's 10. So 6 years ago, I would say.
Wow.
But I kicked the can, and I kept postponing, and I kept saying no and trying different things. And ultimately, my sister I have an older sister, and it took somebody on the outside to say to me, "That's enough.
Yeah.
Go get it done. You'll be happy."
Yeah.
And oh boy, famous
Did
last
you
words.
know jaw surgery was the treatment at that time, or
No.
were you thinking about CPAP
Yes.
or something else?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did not know that jaws are. I knew that from my orthodontia conversations back when I was 15, 14, back in the early 90s, that I had a recessed jaw. The doctor at the time, I distinctly remember, he was wonderful. He did not talk to me like a child.
Yeah.
He sat down and he showed me my profile, and he drew the lines, and he said, "This is your nose." And I remember
Right.
because I was in geometry, so I was like, "What are we doing? Sine, cosine, tangent? Like, what is
that's
this?"
the way we used to plan these cases.
Yeah. And he said, "Look, you're like whatever. I think it was 2 millimeters or something off." And he said, "I can only move your teeth so far
Yeah.
in your face because those are the limitations of your bone. But I just want you to know, unless you do the jaw surgery." And we lived
Right.
overseas, and back then in 1994, 93, you would have the braces. They would seal you shut for
Yep.
what, 6 weeks?
Yeah, 6 weeks, and it was a long 7-8 hour
Right.
operation.
Yeah. And I'd have to come back stateside. And so I never did it. So we did the orthodontia. So I knew from a cosmetic standpoint that my face was not in symmetry. Is that what you would say, symmetrical?
No.
But I did not know that that was what was causing also the small airwave and the apnea.
Right. And still, a lot of people are unaware of those associations.
I mean, every single time somebody asks me, it's almost like I almost have to defend myself
Right.
because I think that they think I did it for cosmetic reasons. And listen, I've done cosmetic surgery. I'm very open about it.
Right.
If I had done it for cosmetic surgery, I would have
would say
told
it,
you, like,
right.
what's the big deal? Look at me, look great. Ha!
Yeah.
Who's happy now?
Right.
Me.
Yeah.
That's not the case. It was medical.
Yeah.
And that's why my insurance company paid for it, because we
Right.
did the sleep study and I had 76. What is that?
Yeah. So your AHI was over 76. It was 76 point something.
Yeah.
Which means that every hour you're either obstructing, so you're choking, or almost choking. You're almost obstructing 76 times per hour.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah. So more than every minute
Yeah.
that you're asleep.
Right. So when I explain that, they're like, okay. And interestingly enough, it's almost like this huge boat is finally slowly turning. 'Cause, it takes time to make
Yes.
these. And I'm having more and more like, oh yeah, I've heard about that.
The
As-
podcast
Yeah,
is working.
the podcast is working. Or,
That's our goal.
something to that extent to they're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, So it's almost like
Yeah,
it's,
that's a great way. Sorry.
Yeah.
Analogy. The big boat is
It
finally
takes-
turning. Because I've been doing this. I've been doing jaw surgery in practice for 13 years now,
Okay.
but it really started picking it up for airway and really identifying it as an airway first procedure about 6-7 years ago.
okay.
And I would give lectures about this, talk about it. Everyone looked at me like I was crazy. And we were seeing the results. We were seeing outcomes. We were seeing lives change. And that was giving us more motivation to keep going. And now I see so many people talking about this online, so many doctors that never would have even thought about it.
Yeah.
They're discussing it as if it's been around.
Yeah. Like it was a fait accompli.
Right.
And
but
you're like,
it makes me very happy.
good.
It's like, because I know what it was like, and it's changing. It's still very early.
Sure.
If you think about cosmetics, like you're talking about a small jaw, most people still are going to facial plastic surgery and getting chin implants or cheek implants or fillers, right? Or a rhinoplasty because the nose is not supported by the jaw. But in almost all these situations, the jaw has an issue and they're just masking it with these procedures. So it's still not even close to being mainstream, but that boat is turning. I like that.
Yeah, because you think about it, it takes a long time for you to course correct, right? And
Yeah.
to turn it. And I mean, of course, like in everything else, hindsight's 2020. But if you, and I'm not even a doctor or medical professional, but I feel like the empirical evidence is there. Look at the picture of my
Right.
airway, excuse me, before, and it was like probably not even as thick as a straw.
Yeah, it's like a cocktail straw.
Yes. And then today, and it's like, where's the question here?
Yeah, that's the crazy thing to me because it's so obvious.
Yeah.
It's so obvious. It's as obvious as anything can be.
Yeah.
Like you're right. It
Right.
is.
If you
It's
take a
right
child,
there.
you're like, which one is bigger?
Correct. You ask a 5-year-old which one is bigger,
Yeah.
which one can air pass through
Yeah.
easier. Everybody's going to be able to answer that question, but still, there's a disconnect between common sense
Right. And what's in
And-
front of you,
and
right?
old traditions.
Yes, sure.
Sure. which is not unique to this.
No.
We see that in all aspects of life. But it is shocking to me, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Then you're in that camp. I'm in that camp.
Right.
Anyone that's has experience in this situation is in that camp. So it's hard being in this camp and thinking like, how do you not see this?
I remember you came to see me in the hospital
Yeah.
and you said to me in that night, because we done it, he did the surgery. I was your first surgery. It was like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I came in, and by the evening you came in to see me, and I was trying to stay awake because I was tired and I was hitting
The pain button.
the thing. And you're like, how are you? You look so good. And you said, how are you feeling? And I said, my nose is cold. And you're like, what do you mean?
Right.
And it was because I was getting so much air
Right away. Yeah.
that my actual nose was
I
cold
did
from
not
the.
experience this
I
before.
never felt that way. I'd never had that much room to physically breathe.
I remember you saying that.
Isn't that crazy?
Yep. I remember your husband was in the room with
Yeah,
you, right?
yeah,
I
he
remember.
was. He finally left, and he's like, "Okay, I'm sitting here watching you sleep. I'm gonna go." And I said, "Go home and take
Right.
care of the kids and feed them. Like you're not need to watch me sleep."
Yes.
Yeah.
So, besides the sleep paralysis,
Yes.
what other symptoms were you dealing with?
So general, it just not waking up well.
Yeah.
It was like kind of like an old school,
Just tired.
like turning the car.
Oh, that's.
You
Oh, I love these
know,
analogies.
Like
These
it's
are
like
Stanford analogies, Stanford level analogies.
it was like I couldn't get going, and then
Yeah.
I did. And in fact, people tell me often, like if you were like that before when you weren't sleeping,
Yeah. What can you accomplish?
and look at you now, like my workouts are so much more fun
That's awesome.
because I feel stronger. I feel
Yeah.
rested. I wake up and I feel good,
Yeah.
So that was a big one for me. And the fact that I was, just having this uphill battle. The other thing that brought me back, and I think I told you this story, when I realized that one of these times with this kind of sleep paralysis, I might not wake up. And
Yeah.
I came to see you, and I think we had a consult. I didn't know you like I know you now, obviously. The usual, and in my head, I was like, hell no, I'm not doing this, right? Because, you're showing me this.
Intimidating,
It's
for sure.
intimidating, right? And I'm looking up at the screen, and you're like, yeah, we're going to do this and that. Like it's,
All right.
and I must have been dismissive or flippant or something because I said something to the effect of like, oh, okay, well, I'll make an appointment or something. And you looked at me and you said, you're not coming back, are you? And I said, what,
That's
why?
funny because that's not something I say commonly.
No. So you knew that I was just going to
Being
leave the
dismissive,
office.
right.
And being dismissive.
Yep.
And you said to me, okay, but just know that you're at risk of heart disease and stroke.
Right.
And I was like, okay, this is
Serious.
real.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I'll tell you, an AHI of 76, I don't see that often. That's a very high number.
isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
So I really thank you for that, because it was like you saw me wanting to like just
Fail.
just forget it.
All right.
And I'm so grateful and so thankful that
That's nice to hear it.
you put it in perspective.
Yeah.
You could have said, we can talk about stuff
Right.
all day, but eventually you gave me the message I needed to hear
Yeah.
in that moment. And you know what? I never looked back. I came back.
Mm-hmm.
We continued the consultation, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And my children, I hope.
Yes.
Except when they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Thank you for that too.
That's amazing. That's really touching, especially to see you thriving so much now.
So happy.
I mean, you're younger now than when I met you 3 years ago.
Absolutely. My, it's so several things to show you more evidence. My optometrist told me, your eyes are so clear and healthy.
Amazing.
He saw a difference in
And that's objective.
Right, because I was sleeping.
Yeah.
And my dermatologist, who I see, he does, my fillers or my Botox and stuff, he's like, your skin is amazing. And he's like, you're getting rest.
Yeah.
Because I would have like breakouts
Yeah.
and I just wasn't healthy.
You weren't. Yeah. Their inflammation in the body just
Yes.
revs up when they have poor sleep. And sleep is so important for every organ system, for
Right.
our entire wellness. And it's like the most ignored aspect in the healthcare system.
And to think back, like, again, the fact that I was able to do what I've done in my life with all this lack of
Yeah.
sleep. I haven't been sleeping all my life.
Right,
I haven't
yeah.
been resting.
Right.
And yet you can see doctors that are not in your field
Mm-hmm.
have noticed the health benefit that I have enjoyed because of this surgery.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love hearing it.
I'm like,
I love hearing
I
it.
mean, it's had I known, and of course, then that I do now, I would have done this
Of course.
so much longer
Yeah.
ago. But you know what?
The
Life is about.
technology was different too.
It was, exactly. And you are you, Dr. Karotkin's Dr. Karotkin,
Yep.
Susie, me,
Yeah.
all of us had to be in the exact
Absolutely.
right. It had to be a positive, perfect storm.
I agree.
And without all of these players
Yeah.
and my own mindset and being a mother, all of that had to mesh. So it had to be you, Dr. Alfie. Do you know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like, as cheesy as that
No,
sounds,
I believe
it had to
Yep.
be you, and it had to be, and then the way you made it so comfortable, because I saw the psychiatrist
Right.
and I saw the nutritionist, and I went in like, let's go.
I love it.
Like it was, we're on.
I love that because that was my vision
Yeah.
all along. Like, I love that operation when I learned how to do it, and then it was still a very difficult operation, but I enjoyed the transformations. And then, through experience and through an open mind, developing new technology into techniques and designs, it really became a procedure that's accessible and I can recommend to everybody, right? But there was still something missing, and it was that holistic approach.
Yes.
So to try to implement these things, I had a vision of it, and now we've been doing it. I think it's been awesome.
It has been. And all of those iterative steps to get to the surgery, whether or not I can measure it, I know that it ultimately made me feel more comfortable, because it was like we came at it from a nutrition standpoint.
Yeah.
We came at it from a psychological standpoint. We came at it from an orthodontia one, right?
Yeah.
So it was like, yep, check, check, check.
Right.
It was such a comprehensive approach, which, as a sideline, I really love the fact that I realize that you go to other cities and states and you do see patients. But what I really applaud you as a visionary for this entire office is that you invite people to come here
Yeah.
because you've got it down.
Right. That's exactly right.
So it's like it's now working,
Yeah.
and it's like come and do it with us because we've figured this out.
Yep.
And you know all these moving parts because you're the one who orchestrated it to now say, this is what we're going to do. Then you're going to see this person and you're going to talk to, and so it's really working. And the people who are taking this leap of faith to come here to Houston and do it shouldn't be like completely comfortable with their decision.
Yeah. I love that. I love that you appreciate that. I think that's what you do, right? You're in systems and operations.
So yeah, I mean, I do the organizational effectiveness and org design, and
perfect.
and so all of that, like, what is it that makes something more effective?
Yes.
Right. So you look at the health of an organization, and the way we would do succession planning for my job. Let's say you have a ready now, medium term, long term. So one ready now, and then 1 to 3, 3 to 5. So what you've essentially done is optimize the effectiveness of your organization.
Yeah.
You were in a long-term state before,
Right.
and you're in the ready now.
I love that.
So
Where am I going?
keep up more, keep going. Yes.
I love that. I just reviewed your notes briefly before.
Okay.
And there were some things that were listed on the symptoms beforehand from the sleep center, actually. So I'm going to list things that I briefly remember that were all real signs that people can probably relate to. One of them is TMJ.
I was going to say, totally forgot about that because I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I used to grind and clench my teeth like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's such a common sign. You know, when I was in school or residency or even came out, it was like if you're clenching and grinding, it would stress, right? That's what everybody says. You know, like, oh, you're stressed. Go get a night guard. Go do yoga. And I would prescribe night guards, and I would tell people to go do yoga, because that's what I learned.
That's sure.
Right.
You're being a good doctor.
I was right. I thought,
Yeah.
But in reality, the clenching and grinding is so that when you lay down and you sleep, your airway that's already small, when you relax and get into deeper stages of sleep, would obstruct. So to fight that, because breathing is first and foremost the priority for all life, right? Like before anything, you have to breathe.
Absolutely.
So your body's going to fight that, and it has to activate muscles in the neck and the face to prevent the tongue from obstructing during that vulnerable time of sleep.
Okay.
So people clench and grind because they're activating all these muscles
Oh my gosh.
to keep themselves from choking. So it's an entire myth about people are just stressed. Now, people that have poor sleep are stressed.
Sure.
But it's not the stress that's causing the grinding.
Right.
It's the obstruction and the lack of sleep.
That's
it's obstruction that's causing the lack of sleep.
Yeah, it's the proverbial, is the expression, the tail wagging
That
the
wags
dog. Wagging the dog, right? You're
Yeah.
like, no, it's this way, not
Correct.
that way.
Yeah. So it's and it's still a huge misconception in medicine. So another one to, share with your providers, with people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are clench and grind. I think more people clench and grind and have airway problems that don't. And it's not the stress that's causing that. It's the airway that's causing all of that. And
Absolutely.
then the stress is the subsequent. So you did have that.
Oh, yes.
And what happens then is it puts a lot of wear and tear on the TMJs. So people start to develop deterioration of the TMJs.
Oh.
The TMJs are just the victims in this,
Okay.
right? Because it's a small joint. It takes a lot of pounds per square inch forces from the jaws to act on those joints. And if you're clenching and grinding and compensating for poor sleep, for poor breathing, then the joints are going to age and have inflammation and degradation and all these things. And for all this time, this is the same thing. Just like we would blame grinding on stress and then prescribe splints to it, which is not solving the problem. with TMJs, the classic thing is to treat the TMJs, but the TMJs are having issues secondarily. The
Okay.
primary reason is something else, usually the breathing.
And I've broken several teeth
Yes.
to where I'd go into the dentist
Mm,
and we would just zzz, and they'd fix it. So, and on top of the fact that I ground them, like I would actually break some of
Yeah.
my teeth.
yeah. We see that often. A lot of things that happen in dentistry are just signs of an airway problem. The reason that it's so common is that the jaws are just not as big as they used to be
Yes.
in ancient man. So
Right. And is that true? Is that whole like we're not eating enough like our meat?
we're not chewing, like
Chewing,
we used to.
okay.
We're not breastfeeding like we used to. There's
Okay.
a lot of convenience factors of civilized world
Okay.
that take away from, especially early in life, the first 1 to 2 years when rapid development's happening.
Okay.
That's critical for growth. We're just not doing it. We have aisles of baby food that's pureed. We have formula for breast milk.
Yeah.
We have even mothers that do provide breast milk. We have pumps
Yes.
and bottles.
Yes.
So it's not the mechanics of being on the breast.
Oh my
There's a
gosh.
lot of conveniences.
Okay.
And the list goes on and on.
Right.
But just modern living has made things easier on us. But in a way, it's taken away from the stimulation we needed to develop properly.
So it is that whole like ooga booga, like you
Yeah.
used to eat
I like that.
the meat, like I'm thinking of
Right.
Texas Ren Fest and the turkey leg, right?
Right, yeah.
And so then you used to sit there and chew
Yeah.
the food. Is okay.
Yeah, especially early in life.
Okay.
Especially early in life.
Yeah.
So do you have TMJ problems like you used to have?
No.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the education that I received by working with Susie
Yes.
has also taught me A, to catch myself, and B,
Yes.
where to keep my tongue during the day.
Yeah, which is huge.
Now, I do wear my retainer
Yep.
when I work out
Yeah.
because I do know that I clench in my reps with my,
Right.
right? Or if I'm exercising. So
But you're aware.
I'm aware of it.
Right.
And I know I'm doing it. And in fact, Dr. Karatkin told me that was a good idea.
Yeah.
Because, so that I can preemptively make sure I'm not going to continue to hurt or break teeth or
Right.
grind. But other than that, I know I used to do it when I was driving all day long. And now I don't because I'm placing my tongue in the correct place in my mouth.
Yes.
And so I don't feel the need to grind and I
Yeah.
can breathe through my nose.
Yeah. Susie's been a blessing for our team.
I love
and
her.
all the myofunctional therapists that we work with.
Yes. I know that you have
Right.
others. I was given, I think you gave me a list maybe. And I think I just reached out to her and she was free at that time.
Yeah.
Right.
But Susie's one of our favorites for sure.
Yeah.
She's
was so
wonderful.
helpful.
But it's such an important part of this journey because you're right. The structure I can provide, that's one aspect
Okay,
of
yeah.
it. But the function still has to be good and the muscles have to be behaving appropriately. And a lot of times what happens is, all that time your structure wasn't appropriate. So your musculature did not have an opportunity to behave appropriately or have the strength in the right place that it can have. So this is something that's still missed in jaw surgery across the world, and it's not even being taught because once you move the jaws, if you don't rehab the tongue to gain the appropriate strength and form and address a tongue tie if there is one,
Right.
then the nasal breathing during sleep is not going to happen because the tongue has to be sealed against the roof of the mouth, right?
Right.
So it's something that has to be identified, worked through consciously during the day.
Yes.
So that at night, when you're not conscious, it's working for you.
That's right. Yeah, it's funny you bring this up because this goes to show you the evolution of our relationship because I became very comfortable with you very quickly,
Yep.
for better or worse. You're welcome.
Thank you.
So I think it was like our 2-week op, and I came in and I said, "You said, do you have any questions?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." I said, "I don't have any boogers," and you were like, "Yeah." And I was like, why is that? And you explained to me because for all of my life, I've been breathing through my mouth, ergo not using my nose.
Right.
And you told me essentially, I think, and I'm probably oversimplifying it, but some kind of doctor speak for you weren't using your nose. So they were scabbing, the booger is like a scabbing over essentially because it's not being used in its proper
There was
way.
no flow. There was no drainage. There was no space for flow or
So
drainage.
I wasn't using my nose as it was meant to be used, breathing in and breathing out. And you told me we need to breathe in. You said it's like a filter.
The nose is a filter.
And then you breathe in and it filters it to become warm air.
Yep.
Therefore usable in its capacity in your body.
Right.
And then you exhale it. And now, because I was breathing through my nose, I wasn't giving my boogers an opportunity to build up and be created because I was using my nose as it was intended.
Correct.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah. And most people don't use their nose for breathing, which is crazy. You know, it's something that we take for granted. There's not one animal in the wild that uses their mouth to breathe.
Wow.
Not one. Every animal in the wild uses their nose to breathe. Now,
and we
the
all
same
just
thing
did
that happened to us, right, from modern conveniences and, you know, a deviation from normal.
Right, as we were to have been intended to live.
Correct. You see that in domesticated dogs like pugs.
Oh, is that why they...
Yeah, they can't breathe through their nose and they're mouth breathers and they're overweight. But there's no dog in the wild that does that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's been and not only that, but on top of everything else, I don't snore. Oh, that was the other thing.
Yes, I remember snoring was a big one for you.
Snoring was, see, now I'm forgetting because it feels like a distant memory.
Right.
My husband was like, I'm kicking you out of the marital bed. You're making way too much noise.
Yeah.
And then I would sleep next to my kids and they would be like, Mommy, you're snoring again.
Right.
Because I was like, apparently like a freight train.
Yeah. You were keeping everybody else up.
Yeah. I was waking my kids up and they would wake me up and then they would say I would just turn over and then keep doing it. Like it wasn't like people think, oh, it's when you're on your back or in fact, it's funny. I remember one of my first sleep studies, they were like, you don't look like the typical person who comes in here.
It's funny because I hear, you know why that is?
I do. Well, no, I have my theory, but
I hear this all the time. When we were in medical school, they have a Pickwickian version of a sleep apnea person. Shakespeare, I think, wrote Pickwickian description, right? I think. Is that right?
I believe so.
I believe so too.
I was a lit major. It was a long time ago.
That's an overweight man, like 40s, 50s.
Yes. Yes.
Middle age or more, obese and sedentary.
Yes.
Right? That's a Pickwickian person. And that's what medical school teaches as a sleep apnea candidate,
right?
Or someone you should think about that. Poster child for sleep apnea. So what happens is down the line that translates to the only people they send for sleep studies are like what they think of as a sleep apnea candidate, which is Pickwickian.
Sure.
So then as that goes down the line, the sleep center, whose focus is sleep apnea, that's the patient population that they see. When in reality, you know, we see 14-year-old girls that weigh 80 pounds that have severe obstructive sleep apnea all the time. The majority of people have obstructive sleep apnea because the majority of people don't have the jaws that they were intended to have, right? But the problem is that it's so common that we just dismiss these things as normal.
And I mean, now I know, remembering back to when I was little, I was born with this.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And so now we know, and yet I did get somebody to prescribe a sleep study.
Yes.
Right? And I was your atypical person. I was the anomaly.
Right.
And they were like, okay, well, let's get you noduled up, whatever.
Right.
And it came out that I did have it. But to your point, they were expecting, because that's what we have is like a larger person and they're just snoring on their back.
Correct.
And that's what causes sleep
Homer
apnea.
Simpson or
or
even
somebody
worse,
like that.
You know?
Absolutely.
So there's a term for what you were describing from your family members getting upset about you snoring.
Yeah.
It's called secondhand snoring. Just like there's secondhand smoke, there's secondhand snoring.
Okay.
But there's a real problem with secondhand snoring because it actually disrupts sleep for that person.
Yes.
And any disruption in sleep is detrimental to health.
Right.
So the effects of secondhand snoring is not just inconvenient and annoying. It actually causes physiological damage to that person.
And I will tell you, I mean, are you talking about the other person
The
in
other
the bed?
person. Yeah.
I have many friends, both females and males, you know, depending on who is the person being snored at,
Yep.
if you will, that have just been like resigned
Yeah.
and been like, I need to sleep in a different room.
Yeah.
She snores.
There's a
he
term for that
snores.
too.
What is that?
Sleep divorce.
Okay.
And sleep divorce, it's surprisingly common. I
Yes.
think it's 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 marriages.
No, I'm telling you, like
where they sleep in separate
bedrooms,
rooms.
and they
Yeah.
are of a young age. It isn't
Right.
like
Yes.
you know they're 70s. They're still sexually
Correct.
active, right?
Right.
And they're
But they
not
can't
sleeping
sleep
in the
together.
same. No,
Gigi, can we fact check that real fast on ChatGPT? What is the rate of sleep divorce? Yeah, I think it's 1 in 3 or 1 in 4.
no. I'm
It's
telling you, my
surprisingly
husband was
high.
like, "Do not sleep in this room," like,
Right.
because he had like a meeting in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And so when he had something
Exactly.
super important and he needed to like
Yeah.
get his good night's sleep,
Yeah,
I went and slept
he
with my
wasn't
kids.
being an ass
No,
about it.
not
I'm
at
gonna
all.
give him. I'm gonna
Not
give
at all.
him.
Not at all. And I understood it.
Yeah.
And I believed it because I've heard other people snore.
Yeah.
And when my kids, who were kids sleep like
Yeah,
the dead, you know?
Right.
When I'm waking up a 6-year-old or a 5-year-old out of a sound sleep with my snoring, you got to believe them.
Yeah.
And so I totally got it.
Yeah. Another thing I read in your notes: drooling on your pillow.
Yes. Yes.
Has that stopped?
Yes. The only time I still drool.
The 1 in 3. 1 in 3.
There you go.
Marriages actually have sleep divorce. So if you're out there and you're sleeping in different rooms, don't feel guilty, isolated, any of these things. It's way more common
Yes.
than you think.
And to, you know, exactly, like I got to the place where I was like, I need to remove myself for his health,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
It's not
It's
fair.
amazing. Right.
right?
Yeah. It's amazing.
Because you're sleeping, you don't know what you're doing. So it's not fair to him.
Yeah.
Yes, so I still drool. I will drool every once in a while when I take a nap and I don't tape my mouth.
Yeah. So you're open.
So I'm opening my mouth.
Yep.
I think, oh, I'm just taking a quick little nap.
Then you'll notice
And
it.
I will loosen my and I'm super tired if I'm taking a nap.
Yep.
And then I will still drool, but it is quite rare.
Yeah. And the sleep paralysis, has that happened?
Never, not
Not-
once.
not once.
Not once.
Yeah.
Not once.
That's amazing.
It's you know, somebody was asking me the other day, and I felt like, oh, it's changed my life. All these cliches, right?
Yeah.
And then I had this like moment of clarity, and I said, that surgery has set me free.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's what I said. It's like a hot air balloon that was tethered.
yeah.
So I didn't know how else, and it finally came out like it set me free because of all the things that we're talking about now.
Yeah.
I used to have some discomfort, if you will, as I was falling asleep. Like, will it be tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Will it happen now?
Yeah.
As opposed to like, yay, I'm in my bed. I can't wait to go to sleep. Which
Right.
I am like
There
that.
was some anxiety.
There was some
beforehand.
anxiety. Like
I hear that a lot.
Maybe tonight's the night.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have one of those sleep paralysis.
Yeah. That's an interesting thing because people think about insomnia being like a separate sleep condition, but we see a huge association of insomnia with obstructive sleep apnea, which is the common thing. And I think that's what's happening is people that are really struggling
Yeah.
and choking in the night, or it's not a good experience, right?
No,
And when
just ask
when
me.
every night you're going to war with yourself
Yeah.
trying to sleep, it makes sense that you're gonna have insomnia. You're not gonna want to sleep,
Yes,
right? Because there's anxiety for
absolutely.
doing that.
And now it's like I
You enjoy it.
I enjoy, and there's
Yeah.
also surety of outcome.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to sleep well. I know I'm going to feel better in the morning.
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to snore or drool or clench. And I know that I mean, my husband says, you sleep like a church mouse.
Yeah.
He's like, I forget you're in the bed.
Yeah. That's
So I'm
great.
breathing through my nose and I'm quiet.
Yeah.
And for years, he certainly knew that I was in the bed because I was making a lot of racket.
Yeah.
And, you know, the other thing that he said is, because every once in a while he'd be awake and I would have an episode and he would listen to me stop breathing. And he's terrifying.
Very scary thing to witness.
Yes. When you hear other people and you're sleeping next to them and you're counting 30 seconds, 35, 40 seconds, and the person is not breathing, it is scary.
Definitely.
And you're like, you want to, and he said, and you would kind of like make this gurgling sound, and then you would,
Yeah.
and then wake
That's
up.
scary.
It is, and he's
Yeah.
sitting there like,
Yeah.
my wife
Secondhand
is
insomnia.
Yeah, exactly,
Right?
secondhand insomnia.
Yeah. We just made a new term. I don't think that one
We
exists.
just coined one right here.
Yeah.
Friday, September 26th.
Right. Let's coin that one. Yeah, that's fantastic. You look so much healthier.
Thank you.
You know, I can't wait to go back. We'll take new photos today
Yeah.
and go back and look at the
Yeah.
old photos. But
Thank you.
And from what I remember, you're right. Like what your dermatologist said, what your
Yeah.
ophthalmologist said, you just look vibrant and glowing and healthy.
Thank you.
Have you noticed? And one thing that I like to, believe, and because I've seen some evidence for it, is that sleep it really impacts everything. Your physiology, like your blood pressure, for example, your heart health, and hormone regulation.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Have you noticed anything? And metabolism. Like, has your metabolism been friendlier to you? Has or hormones? Do you feel like they've been balanced better? Or your blood pressure better? Have you noticed any of these physiological changes?
The weight started to just come off because, like most people, it's almost like, I mean, the closest I can explain it is like waking up hungover every day.
Yeah.
So what did I want to eat? I wanted to eat
Correct.
salty,
Yeah.
comfort foods that are going to give me water retention and inflammation, right?
Yeah.
And now I wake up and I want to eat like yogurt and granola. And so the weight started to come off of me. Also, I can notice because I would do the same workout. So I'm copy paste my workout, but who's different is me.
Right.
And the efficacy of my workout post surgery, doing the same exercises, my opinion is because of the anaerobic nature of my exercise and my ability to feed my muscles more clean air, right? Just as a general sense. And then I feel better. I'm sleeping better.
Yeah.
So I feel stronger.
Yeah. Because it's true. Like, as a machine, we have souls in our bodies, our machine. As a machine, you went to a GT. It's like you put
Love it.
You put like 300 horsepower
Let's
in the
go.
machine, right? So
love that
you're
car.
revved up. Yeah, exactly. But you
Sexy
can
car.
see it, right?
Yeah.
Because like you look thinner, you look more fit.
Yep.
But I would bet that you're not dedicating more time to working out. You're not eating less calories.
No, appreciably.
Anything like that.
It's not.
Right.
It just was. It was subtle, and it was like a slow downward. And especially, I'm 47.
Yeah.
So as we get older, we all know our metabolism, goes to the pooper.
Should get harder, but you're going
But
the other
it
way
didn't.
around.
It was the other way around. And so because I was doing those things, but the holistic approach of my sleep was a factor that then it was like a domino, right? And now, without having that first push, then my dominoes are all still standing, and I'm doing the same thing, but it did affect my weight.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
I'm so happy.
Yeah. I love
And
it.
again, I want to say I should have done this a long time ago,
Right.
and
But
but
another
it
timing
wasn't
wasn't there.
it wasn't my
Yeah.
journey.
Yep.
And though that road hadn't gotten to that perfect
Yeah.
storm, that positive perfect storm that I
Right.
was talking about. And so again, and I'm sure you're probably going to see this in your practice, and I'm sure other people see that in multitudes of things. When you're not ready, you can't convince
For sure.
somebody.
Yeah.
But when
For sure.
you have that, then when those pieces come together, the way I describe it is like Trivial Pursuit. You like play Trivial
Yeah.
Pursuit? And you know how you have to win, you have to all the pies.
Yes.
You can have 5 of the 6 pies, but you don't
You
win.
don't win. Yeah. That's a great. You're so good with analogies.
Thank you. So I could have had those, but I didn't have, like I said, you, Dr. All the,
Yeah.
and then I won the game. But it
Yeah.
took me to be 45 years old.
Yeah. It's okay. We've got another 100 years to go.
I do. But it was funny because,
Maybe more. We'll see where technology's taking us.
hey, I'm all for it. Let me tell you. When Dr. Karakin and I first started talking about this back in the day, and he had recommended it, I was probably like 30 something, early 30s. And I remember thinking he showed me as much as he could. They do the HIPAA. He showed me before and after pictures.
Yeah.
And he said, this woman's 45. And I'm like, oh, that's ancient. Like, who's doing surgery at 45? Now I'm like, it's like nothing.
You know, it's funny about, that you say that. I'm 45.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, darn it. You're younger than me.
we're in the same era. We're in the same era.
So you were born in the
1980.
80s? Oh, damn it. I'm still a child of the 70s.
But it is funny. It's like there's a disconnect. Like I'll see somebody that's like late 30s.
Yeah.
And my initial reaction is like, oh, they're old. And I'll forget that I'm 45.
Yeah. When I really noticed it is like I went to a nightclub, and in my head, of course, it's a club. Like
Right.
And then I'm in the bathroom and all these people, and I'm thinking they were talking about like college or this or 20s. And I'm like, yeah, me too. No, I'm not 20 anything, nor am I 30 anything.
Right.
But it's so hard to reconcile this like evidence that you've got that you're this age and how you feel.
Yeah, it is. And, to give some light to anyone that's younger than us out there.
You lovely,
I feel
lucky
better
people.
I feel better than I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah.
I feel younger than I've ever felt in my life. I know
Absolutely.
that that's a crazy thing
Absolutely.
to say, but I say that as to give you hope.
Yeah.
You
can look like us when you're older.
Yeah. And, we were at the Vault conference, and Tony Robbins was on the stage doing his thing. And Tony Robbins how old is Tony Robbins right now? He's in his 60s, I think. He looks
no
great.
way. Yeah, no way.
And
that's crazy.
And he was saying that he feels more satisfaction in his life now than he's ever felt at any time in his life. And for me, that's why I just said this thing to the people younger than us. It's like, that was so refreshing to hear someone in their 60s say that.
Well, there's an expression in Arabic that says "Kil shi waqtu hulu," which means everything in its own time is nice.
Yeah.
And so, yes, it was nice to be 25 and 35.
Right.
And yes, we did different things then.
Right.
But it's also nice to be 45.
Yeah.
And to have the mental and physical balance today, and I don't wish to be those ages anymore.
Right.
And I'm content where I am. And that's several factors. Again, motherhood, my marriage, my job, my life. Right. But it's like you give yourself the license to be happy in the age that you are.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And it comes with gratitude. And, and there is some things that we may be taking for granted with that, but it takes work, and there is a process of praying and meditating and
Absolutely.
and thinking. It's like not to take things for granted, but I think that if you can do these things, I can see how Tony Robbins is where he is.
Sure.
Because he embodies all those messages.
So going back to what you and I talked about in the beginning about a growth mindset, we when we talk about how people think about thinking metacognate, right? Or you think about your how you influence your thoughts, influence your actions,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
And how you can get inside your head, how you can tell yourself stories,
Yes.
right? And you basically hijack and sabotage your happiness.
Yeah, and people do
yourself
this all the time.
all the time.
Yeah.
And that's why you've got people help people like that, because you've got to know and tell them stop doing
Yeah.
that.
Like
And
you're hurting yourself. You're not hurt.
And
Yep.
and they don't. Maybe some people aren't even aware that they're doing
not aware.
it.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the hardest part.
So the way that I have experienced and understand happiness more so now is to understand the multitude of my privilege
Yeah.
and to understand all of the things. The fact that I'm sitting here with you because I belong to a medical system that allowed for me to say, oh, you had a sleep study. I have these numbers that then show,
Right.
and now we can support you having surgery and have insurance to pay for it and so on. I mean, it's like, where do I start with my privilege? It goes,
Right.
it's like from the time you wake up in the morning till the time you go to
That's such
sleep.
a beautiful thing to even break that down.
Right. And it's gratitude, and it's like, if I hadn't had all these wonderful things, then I wouldn't have be able to. So it's the small things. And so to say people practice privilege, I absolutely adhere to that.
Yeah.
I wake up, I do those affirmations.
Yes.
Going to school in California taught me
Yeah.
a lot about that. And now here we are 20 years later where it's not so hippie pippy, whatever,
Yeah,
right?
it's
It isn't
great.
just the
Right.
things that somebody does in yoga.
important. Yeah.
It's for all of us to understand that
Absolutely.
we need to be
so
practicing
important.
gratitude.
Yeah. We have to wrap up because I think we have some things going on in the office.
Okay.
But you're such a wonderful guest.
Thank you.
You're a wonderful patient, but you're a wonderful guest and
Thank
friend.
you.
I think I want to bring you back just to talk about mindset, because
Okay.
that's one of the themes of this podcast. And we're just touching that. But I think that you as an expert in this, that's a whole different conversation I'd love to get into.
I would love to come back. Thank you
Okay.
for inviting me.
You're welcome.
And again, to all those that are listening, watching, whatever it may be, it's take the leap of faith.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the other side is better. The grass is greener.
Yes. Yeah. And that's a good way to say it, because it does take a leap of faith.
It does. And to say, you're going to have recovery, but you are in good hands. It is so scaffolded the way that you structured it. There's scaffolding there,
Yeah.
and it's structured, and you will have a successful outcome.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank
We always end this podcast with a question: who's the greatest basketball player of all time, in your opinion?
Am I supposed
You
to
don't
say?
have no. You don't have to look back.
Well, being from New Hampshire, we grew up without having any major ball except for Boston.
Yeah, I know who you're gonna say.
So I have to say Larry Bird.
Yeah, that's such a good one. Such a good one. I don't think anyone said Larry Bird, but
That's what my
I have him in the top 5 for sure.
Yeah,
He
Larry
was
Bird.
so good.
Yeah, and it was, what I love is that he was a part of that time in basketball,
So magical time.
right? And so
Yeah.
he was a part of that equation,
Yes.
and you can never recreate that.
Yeah.
And Larry Bird was a part of that, so I will have to
Yeah.
say Larry Bird.
Still the number 1 most watched college basketball game of all time. Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson.
Oh my gosh,
In
really?
1978 or 79, whenever that was.
I don't even know where Larry Bird went to school.
Indiana.
Okay.
No, Indiana State. Somebody correct me.
I don't know. But yeah.
Indiana State.
So, but
I
what,
think.
isn't that funny? You're like watching legends become
right.
legends.
Yeah. And what a time. And then they both go to the NBA around about a year apart.
Yeah.
Around the same time, and then have 10 years of
That rivalry,
That
wasn't the
the
rivalry? Yeah.
Lakers. Yeah, it was such a good time in
So
basketball.
yeah, it was Larry Bird, and
Good answer.
He was a pivotal part of the Celtics and
For sure.
and a lot of the identity around what Bostonians feel about basketball
Yeah. Yeah.
and that
Definitely.
dynasty.
Yeah. And it made the NBA, you know, them two together revived the NBA.
I mean, yeah, because it became sexy to watch
It
basketball
did.
again.
Yeah, it did. The entire 80s brought it back, and then Jordan took it to another level.
Yeah.
So awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.